Hello everyone, thanks for coming outside with me today. It's a rather white and frosty day here in central Pennsylvania, but I'm still excited to get outside and enjoy God's beautiful creation, and in particular share with you the hang and hunt setup that I use this year. I've been exclusively a climber user for the past 15 years. I really like being in a tree, but this year I wanted to try something different. So I went ahead and purchased an XOP Vanish tree stand and API's hunting sticks. So I apologize for the windy day, but I gotta deal with the weather and the time frame that I'm given. So I'm going to start strapping this onto the tree here and talk you through the process and why specifically I chose to go with the hang and hunt setup this year and forego my long and well-used climber. So first things first, before I even take the stand off my back, you can see that I have several ropes and carabiners crisscrossed around my chest here. Using a hang and hunt setup, you need more than just your tether, which would go around the tree. You would girth hitch to the tree. You also need a lineman's belt. In this case, I'm using standard static line for rock climbing purposes, and I'm using 8mm accessory cord, which is just leftover accessory cord from the stick rope mod method that I have for my API hunting sticks. This is rated at several, I think it's about 13 or 14 kilonewtons or several thousand pounds. It's perfectly acceptable to be used as a Prusik system. I'm using Mad Rock and Black Diamond carabiners, also very suitable for this system. This isn't rope and stuff and carabiners and stuff that I went up and picked up at Walmart and Lowe's. I got climbing gear specific stuff, paid a little bit more money, but my life, my safety is on the line. So it was really critical that I use the appropriate equipment when I'm 15 feet up a tree. Secondly, before I take the stand off my back, this whole system, sticks, stands, cushion, cam buckles, and the rope mod, comes to about 22.5 pounds fully set up for me, which is fantastic. My original steel climber was about 27.5 pounds, so I was able to shed 5 pounds, or almost 15 to 20% of the overall weight that I used to carry into the woods. So another beauty of this system, this tree is beautiful, it's a nice diameter, it's perfectly straight, I don't have any branches in the way, but using a hang and hunt system, I can go around branches, which I couldn't do with the climber. As you can see, it's a very basic system. I am using the cam buckles for the stand. You also get cam buckles with the sticks, but I prefer this rope mod, which I'll explain in a second, and then I just have standard bungee straps to keep everything in place. So API sells their sticks in packs of 3. I'll go ahead and get them unbuckled from each other here. Normally I'm wearing a fanny pack with my full hunting gear. As you can see, I'd rather be warm than in my hunting gear today. And so I normally have a fanny pack, and I would store all the bungees and buckles in the pockets around my waist, so that as I'm going up and down the tree, I have easy access to any of that in case I need to come back down or ratchet or cam buckle something or need an extra piece of rope. This is the first stick that I put on the tree, and as you can see, I have a piece of webbing here wrapped around the bottom, and this is an aider. I'm not going to go through all of the details of how I built this. There are plenty of tutorials already on YouTube, but as you can see, it has these foot stirrups in it, and it allows you this extra length to get this stick a little bit higher up and buys you extra length up the tree. Secondly, you'll notice this 8mm accessory cord that's wrapped around the stick. I replaced the standard API buttons with the Lone Wolf Versa button to use this rope mod. Super pleased with them, very lightweight. The 3 sticks together with the rope mod and the aider come out to about 10 pounds, just a skosh under 10 pounds. So I'm very happy about that. It saves a ton of weight in the woods. So like I said, this is the tree that I'm going to climb, and this first stick I don't need to put my lineman's belt or anything on because I'm simply going to put it on the ground. Now I know there's going to be a bit of sag with this, and so I typically put the Versa button right in the middle of my forehead. And again, there are tons of videos already on YouTube on how to do the rope mod. I know this is going to have a bit of sag, so that's why it's up high. My aider's up a little bit higher off the ground. Simply pull down. And now my first stick is ready to go. So now at this point, in conjunction with that belt that held that fanny pack that I alluded to earlier, I would have 2 loops of 550 paracord, and I would hook the feet of either one of these second and third sticks into those loops, and they would ride around my hips. So what I can do then is I can take everything up in one trip, all 3 sticks, the stand on my back, and I can leave my bow and pack and everything else on the ground to be hoisted up with my pull rope once I'm ready to go. So I'm now up and standing on the bottom rung of my first stick. I'm only about maybe 3 feet off the ground from my feet to the ground. At this point, I can now go ahead and attach my lineman's belt, which as you notice has the Prusik with the carabiner on it. I can now lean back from the tree hands-free. There is no need for me to grip the tree anymore. I have plenty of strength, plenty of structure here, and I now have two hands to get any other climbing sticks and the stand onto the tree. So now I'm ready for my second climbing stick. I'm still on the bottom rung. The reason I'm on the bottom rung instead of the top rung to set this stick, because you might think on the top rung you can get up higher. I'm on the bottom rung because I still need to keep appropriate spacing from my first stick to my second stick. If I put it up too high, I won't be able to reach it and I'll have to reset it anyhow. Now, second stick is on. You see how much sag it had there, probably about 6 inches worth of sag, but it's not going anywhere. And so now I can step up on top of my first stick, making sure to move my lineman's belt with me. So I try to keep that above perpendicular. So for the tree stand itself, you always want to step down into your tree stand platform. You might be able to gain a little bit of height by stepping up into it, but that's not the safest way to do it. You always want to step down. So before I take this tree stand off my back and put all that weight on my arms, I want to make sure I have my cam buckle straps, which I do. Normally I would carry them in that fanny pack, but I just have them shoved in the pockets of my blue jeans. And I want to make sure that I'm standing on the middle, at least for me, my height. I want to stand in the middle of that last stick, that second to last stick that I put up here, because I want my platform to be somewhere between my Versa button and my top sticks. That way I can step down in my platform once I get up in the tree. So first things first, I'm going to get my cam buckle strap and make sure it's out. I don't want to be fumbling, holding the stand and trying to make sure that this is out all the way. So I'm going to have it out pretty far, kind of judge the distance here around the tree. That's good. So I'm just going to put this for now in my teeth. Making sure by judging it, just make sure that I have appropriate spacing. I do. I want to make sure that I'm above my lineman's belt right now, and I am. I want to make sure that my bat wing back here is below that knot, which it is. So what I'm going to start off by doing is feeding this buckle around here first and keep it on this side of me. Then I can throw the strap around. Just like your lineman's belt, you want this strap up at an angle. Once that's up, I can now bring this platform up, push it down on the stand, and now when I pull down the platform again, it's going to cam lock. It'll cam lock into the tree. Now it's safe and secure. That technically would hold me. That technically would hold my weight, but I don't like that. I like that secondary strap, which XOP has the option of doing that. Some tree stand companies only have the one strap location, and although it's certified to be safe enough, I don't like that. I'm a big dude. I weigh over 210 pounds, so I like to have a little bit more security. Again, the same basic principle here. You don't need this bottom strap to be as tight before you cam lock to the tree. But now that tree stand isn't going anywhere. And I'm feeding all the excess straps down through the legs of the climbing sticks, so that way they're not flopping around in the wind. Now that I'm up here, I'm ready to step into my stand, almost. I can't just unclip my lineman belt and step into the stand. When you step in and out of the stand, that's when you are most at risk for a fall. That's why I still have my tree tether up here with me. So now I'm tethered into the tree up here. If I were to fall, it still wouldn't be fun, but at least I wouldn't fall to the ground. I can now step up, put slack in my lineman's belt. Now I'm ready to step into the stand. Put the seat up. Stepping down from the stick into the platform. I can get up as high as I need to do this. And we're in the tree stand. I know you can't see me, but I'm sitting up here. To get down is the exact opposite. Clip my lineman's belt back on, take the tether off, and then start removing the pieces. So once it's all said and done, about the maximum height that I see with my 6'4" frame is about 14 to 15 foot off the ground using that aider. If I bought another set of sticks and used 4 or 5 sticks, I could definitely get way higher, but I would be carrying that extra weight in the woods, which kind of defeated the purpose of why I wanted this mobile hang and hunt setup. So that's all for this video. If you want any of the gear you see, I'll put links applicable in the description below. You can always hit me up and ask questions here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I even have my email down in the description. Hope you're able to get outside and enjoy the sport of archery. Enjoy the sport of archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation, and we'll get to see you next time.